Welcome, and this is module 3 of our Small Business AI Strategist program. Last time we focused on building and positioning your AI consulting agency, covering everything from agency archetypes and market selection to service packaging and exit strategies. Now we're going to switch gears to look at the technology behind AI consulting and how these systems fit together to drive meaningful outcomes for your clients. This is our AI Stack Fundamentals course. Let's get started. When you get into the marketplace, you'll find that most businesses have already gone through or have started going through some sort of digital transformation, which means that they've replaced paper-based process with tools like CRMs, ERPs, or Slack and QuickBooks. They've captured valuable data and they've automated certain tasks, but that's typically just step one. And AI transformation is kind of the next phase where you layer on deeper insights, advanced automation, and prediction tools for better decision making. So maybe you're predicting inventory or automating customer support or finding cost savings opportunities. Essentially, AI picks up where digital systems leave off. And as an AI strategist, your role is to see where the client sits on that journey. If they haven't digitized core processes or lack reliable data infrastructure, then start there. It's also a great revenue opportunity. And once those baseline issues are addressed, you can guide them through to AI solutions that build on their existing environment rather than reinventing the wheel. Now, let's get into the AI stack fundamentals. We break down the AI stack into 3 solution areas plus an overarching layered approach. First is custom AI, then we have off-the-shelf AI, then automations, AI workflows and agents, and then a layered approach to the AI stack. So let's walk through each of these solutions, focusing on how they fit into small and medium-sized businesses. Custom AI refers to custom models and specialized solutions like a machine learning model for a client's proprietary data or advanced computer vision on a manufacturing line. Typically, custom AI will involve data ingestion and cleaning, where they're pulling and prepping data from multiple sources, model development, where they're picking the right algorithms to build these models, whether it's a neural network or a regression or something else. And the algorithms, they work with the data and they train on the data to output the model. Then we have deployment and machine learning ops or ML ops. This is where we take the model that has been output from the training into production, where we put it into a live environment and we monitor the performance of that model and iterate as needed. Now, custom AI, it offers a major competitive advantage, but demands a strong data infrastructure, specialized talent, and a willingness to invest in R&D. Many small businesses, they might find that it's too big a lift. It might be too expensive, and you might want to steer them to off-the-shelf AI or simpler automations that fit their budget and their timeline. And remember, you can always tap our team at Strata 52 to do the heavy lifting if the client wants to go fully custom. Next, let's review off-the-shelf AI. Off-the-shelf AI involves plugging into pre-built platforms like OpenAI's ChatGPT or Anthropic's Claude, or specialized APIs for sentiment analysis or image recognition. These off-the-shelf solutions, they're faster to deploy and they're generally cheaper, but they're also less flexible. And setup, it usually looks like a vendor onboarding step where you're basically creating a client account and configuring permissions. And then there's a configuration step where you're tweaking settings within the platform's constraints. And then there's integration. Integration is where these capabilities into the client's apps or their workflow or their processes. Off-the-shelf AI can produce quick wins without major upfront investment in custom models. It's perfect for small businesses who are wanting immediate impact, but the key is ensuring that the staff is trained so they can actually leverage the tools on a daily basis. Otherwise, these off-the-shelf tools, they just gather dust just like anything else. Next, let's discuss automation, AI workflows, and agents. Sometimes the best solution, it's not advanced AI, it's an automation, but Let's get even more specific because we can distinguish three concepts here: the difference between automation, an AI workflow, and an AI agent. And each has their own strengths, weaknesses, and ideal use cases. First, let's start with an automation. An automation is a program that executes a predefined rule-based task automatically. So there's typically some sort of trigger that sets off a cascade of events that you know what it's going to do next once that trigger is hit. This is primarily Boolean logic, where if this, then that happens. These systems, they're typically what we call deterministic, and they're explicitly programmed, like send a Slack notification when a new lead signs up. And there are strengths and weaknesses to these solutions. The strengths are they deliver reliable outcomes and they're fast to execute. The weaknesses are they're effectively limited to what they've been programmed to do, and they can't adapt to new scenarios and they can struggle with complexity. Now, comparing automations to AI workflows, the AI workflows, they're a program that typically relies on some sort of generative AI or large language model for one or more of the steps in that automation. This type of AI workflow, they are great for handling complex rules and good for pattern recognition, but their weaknesses are that they require data to train or tune the models effectively, and they can be really difficult to debug. An example of an AI workflow would be, let's take the exact same trigger automation, which is send a Slack notification when this trigger occurs. What if we had an intermediary step that when this trigger occurs, we want to send data to ChatGPT and we want ChatGPT to output a score. Let's say when a new lead visits the website, that's the trigger. We want to send the location of that lead to ChatGPT to score against the ideal customer profile. And we send the lead's information to Slack, so that way we get a notification with some sort of fuzzy logic score where we say this lead is a 5 out of 10 because they are outside of your typical service area or what have you. So that's an example where we have a standard automation with some sort of generative AI or some sort of large language model step in the middle that makes this an AI workflow. Now, in today's market, what you see is you have a lot of individuals who are touting AI workflows as agents, but they're not agents. They are AI workflows. The same thing with automations. When you have automations that are trigger-based automations that you set up in Zapier, those are not agents. Those are automations. So AI workflows are different than agents because AI workflows have a generative AI step in the middle of the automation, and you might have multiple generative AI steps in the middle of that automation. So that brings us up to the future of AI, which is starting to gain a lot of hype at the beginning of 2025, which is AI agents. An AI agent is a program that is designed to perform non-deterministic tasks autonomously, like simulating human-like behavior or making decisions on a new scenario. So an agent system would be taking a prompt and building out the application, let's say. So you can layer up from the example that I gave previously, which was the trigger is somebody visits the website, you score that lead and then send the notification to Slack. We can layer up from that, and an example of an agent would be is to build out the application that actually builds out that workflow or creates that workflow. There would be multiple steps that would be involved to build out that application or that web service. So you would need an agent that is going out and doing all of these things without explicit instructions from the user. Now, some individuals might say, well, it might be easier, but you can't really control the agent. So can you be guaranteed that the agent will actually create what you tell it to? And the answer is no. That is the problem with agents today, is that there is a lot of promise that exists in the agent world. However, when it comes to anything beyond basic tasks, at least today, it's difficult to find an agent that will be able to perform the autonomous actions in a reliable manner. So as it stands today at the beginning of 2025, agents are a lot of hype. There is a lot of promise, but productionizable agents at this stage are not something that we recommend to our clients. So just to summarize that rant a little bit, the key takeaways here is that automations, they are suitable for straightforward predefined tasks. And an AI workflow is best for processes that need some large language model involvement or some sort of generative AI involvement, but they're still primarily rules based. So you can kind of still continue to control the logic. And then with AI agents, they are one step towards that autonomy, that where they handle tasks that are not fully determined by the individual that has built the agent. And this great for deeper exploration or for honestly novel problem solving. But as a consultant, you'll have the ability to choose among these types of approaches based on your client's complexity, their budgets, and their appetites for risk. But what's important is that you understand the difference between the three and being able to recognize, is this an automation? Is this an AI workflow? Or is this an agent? The reason why that's important is you want to be able to explain that to your client so they understand the risks that are involved in the hype that surrounds each one of these solutions. If you remember previously, when I spoke about the Strata 52 method for building out the AI stack, the base layer of that pyramid was the ethical AI policies section. Now, for small businesses, this pyramid is going to start to differ a little bit, where we're going to effectively remove that bottom layer, where for small to medium-sized businesses, the AI stack can be visualized into 4 layers instead of those 5 layers. So where we start with small businesses is we start with AI road mapping, where we want to identify the key opportunities through workshops or strategic planning. Then the next phase up from that is AI stack implementation, where we're integrating off-the-shelf AI, building custom models, we are setting up automations, AI workflows, and even agents, and we're training employees on these new systems. Then we have AI stack management, where we're performing ongoing maintenance and optimization. We're continuously monitoring the data, the usage, and the ROI metrics. And then once we have all those in place, at the peak, we have the AI stack, which is a fully realized proprietary suite of AI solutions that are driving the organization's daily workflows and long-term strategies. By advancing a small business through these layers, you effectively ensure that each AI investment will deliver real value, starting from the basics of digital readiness and culminating to a robust AI-driven enterprise. Now, you might be wondering, why do we ignore ethical AI policies? Well, quite frankly, the reason we ignore ethical AI policies at this stage of business is because that's not important to small businesses. A lot of small businesses are not as stringent as it relates to things like compliance and defining what are their ethical AI policies and what is their AI governance strategy. By and large, small businesses are not as concerned about that. We don't want to include that in our value proposition. We don't want to include that in our package of when we're selling our services to small businesses. Small businesses want a return on investment. They want you to be able to take action as quickly as possible and as practically as possible. And genuinely, they don't want to waste time on stages like compliance and governance. As you may have guessed it, that is the end of Module 3. So congratulations on completing Module 3. You now have a clearer picture of the AI stack fundamentals, from custom versus off-the-shelf AI to automations versus AI workflows versus AI agents. For each of these items, they have their own approach that is unique in their place in solving client problems. And your challenge is to effectively create the right solution or design the right solution for the right scenario. Now, in the next module, Module 4, we'll dive into the legal, ethical, and the compliance considerations, an aspect that can truly make or break AI initiatives. So thanks for tuning in, and I look forward to exploring the crucial do's and don'ts of AI in our next session.